early on in the script stage, Ryan said, I'd like to open the movie and get in a fight with a robot. And so we obliged.
Body movement detected. For your own safety, please return to the medical platform.
Hi, I'm Phil Lord.
And I'm Chris Miller. We're the directors of Project Hail Mary.
And we are going to be breaking down the opening sequence. It starts with a unique premise, which is Ryan plays, most space narratives start with somebody who is at home on Earth and feels lonely in space. And this is about someone who feels lonely on Earth and eventually makes a friend in space.
We're starting very experientially POV. It starts with almost like a light show that we shot with our cinematographer, Greg Fraser, where we literally had the camera under a latex suit with a zipper as the lights of the chamber that he's in.
So the movie starts like quite serious with that light show and Daniel Pemberton's lovely score. We wanted the melody, even though what he's going through is harrowing, the melody is optimistic. It's telling us this guy has potential to be someone great. And then you open the zipper, and in comes a medical robot.
And then we see Ryan upside down, super close up. So we're as disoriented as he is. He wakes up not knowing who he is, what's going on, where he is, what's happening. And we want the audience to feel that way too and feel super disoriented and then slowly start to put together what was happening.
Cognition assessment. What is 2 plus 2? Incorrect. You have been in an induced coma.
In this scene, we're trying to sort of balance the sort of physical comedy of a person who doesn't have full motor function with like an unease of waking up in a strange place and being disoriented. And so we're sort of trying to go back and forth tonally with that. And luckily, Ryan's a very gifted physical performer, and so he can flop himself around on the floor like a fish and wiggle his way around the room while being chased by a robot arm that wants to shave him.
Since Ryan wakes up alone on the ship, we tried to populate the ship with as many scene partners as possible. And we meet 2 of them in this sequence. We meet Armando, who was our nickname for the medical robot.
Because he's an arm.
He's an arm, and he has like a little face inside of his hand.
Which was puppeted by a team of puppeteers.
And the instruction to the puppeteers was like, you're trying to take care of this person. He just doesn't realize it. So every move is about trying to help. And he's so fearful that he misunderstands. And then Mary, the ship's AI computer.
Please remember, muscle function has not yet been restored.
So he and Armando have this conflict, and he gets up hoping to find other people on the ship. And there's a big tonal change. You can feel it in the audience. And he unveils who he thinks is a sleeping crew member to find a corpse. People! Hello! And you could feel kind of the audience suddenly like sit up straight and take the movie really seriously again.
The medical bay that he wakes up in, we built this very, very tall set with 3 beds that come out vertically. And the idea was that later in the story, when we go into centrifugal gravity, it turns on its side and the beds rotate 90 degrees. Instead of being like bunk beds, they become like an orphanage. And every room was designed to be vertical and horizontal.
We have this amazing production designer, Charlie Wood, and we talked all together about how to make a spaceship that didn't feel slick. We always say this movie is not a Mac, it's a PC. The guts are on the outside. The ship is made by every country on Earth. Each room has been built by a different, spacefaring nation, and it's stitched together like a quilt. But if you look at the walls, they have stitching in them. There's a kind of warmth to it. One of the things Greg Fraser, our cinematographer, is looking at is Alien, where all of the walls have a kind of ivory, manila flavor to them. We just didn't want space to be cold.
Our sound team with Ethan and Eric and Juan and Michael made each room have its own different, distinct sort of loud hum and whir, and especially as he was going into this sort of server hallway, like it really is it becomes loud as it's whirring and waking up as he climbs the ladder.
But I like how you're calling out the sound, because we spent a lot of time thinking about how to make the movie sound subjective. That when you, like at the beginning of the movie, we hear the score and we hear the things that Grace might be hearing as he's coming into consciousness. He's not aware of the hum of the room until he unveils the corpse of his crewmate, and then that's all we can hear. And then for a few beats, the sound effects and the room tones, they shift from room to room, and we wanted it to be really loud seams from one room to the next, so you really felt the difference. And that takes the lead in the track over the music for the few beats. So we go to that like huge wonder.
We did that shot first in a virtual camera to make sure that it was possible and figure out what section of the set we needed to remove to have the camera operator be able to spin around Ryan. He's climbing up a shaft, and then he has to walk over to a window, and the camera operator has to sort of float over that shaft. And so how we could get someone to slide in a piece of plywood so that the operator could walk forward.
And then Greg came up with this great idea to wrap around Ryan, chase him to the window, and then have Ryan's reflection roll up into the glass, and that you obliquely see what his experience is.
For the design of the spaceship, the Hail Mary, our production design team, led by Charlie Wood, we had put him in touch with a bunch of different JPL people, and people we wanted to have a feel of when you look at the ISS and you see how just utilitarian and functional it is. It's not designed to be sleek in any way. And how would a bunch of different countries building different sections that gets assembled in space into one craft work? Everyone at NASA and JPL were super excited to help and weigh in on stuff, and they did a bunch of research of various different space programs and how their building style was. And so getting the specificity of each area of it and having it feel kind of messy and not intentionally designed, but still having a beautiful silhouette was something that took a long time, but I think it ended up really working.
And when I watch the movie, I see all of these crew members bringing so much of their creativity to it, and that is what makes me happy.